Have you ever wondered what could go wrong at 800 feet above the ground, where everything seems normal, but a single system could turn your flight into a living nightmare in under 40 seconds? What if I told you there's a system on modern aircraft, hidden from pilot manuals, that could release lethal toxic smoke into the cockpit almost instantly, and nobody, neither regulators nor manufacturers, are taking immediate action? Stay with me. This isn't a story about the infamous MCAS system on the Boeing 737 MAX. It's something entirely different, yet just as deadly. The startling reality: earlier incidents on the Boeing 737 MAX have already shown us that safety can sometimes be fragile. In 2023, two separate flights experienced terrifying events that most passengers, and even most pilots, would never be prepared for. The first was a Southwest Airlines flight from Havana, Cuba, to Fort Lauderdale, Florida. On board, there were 147 passengers, 2 pilots, and 4 cabin crew. Everything seemed normal. The aircraft lined up on runway 06, accelerated for takeoff, and climbed safely until disaster struck. At approximately 800 feet above the ground, the plane ingested a massive turkey vulture into its right-hand engine, while also striking another bird over the nose. Bird strikes are common, yes, but usually with minor consequences. Not this time. One bird weighed around 4 pounds, the maximum weight certified for the CFM LEAD 1B engines used on the MAX. The bird destroyed a fan blade, damaged others, and caused severe vibrations. The engine continued to run, but was clearly compromised. The pilots immediately identified the problem and went through emergency procedures for engine fire, severe damage, and separation. Thick, acrid white smoke began to fill the cabin. Passengers' eyes burned, throats stung, and visibility was limited to a few rows. Despite the chaos, the pilots executed a single-engine approach back to runway 06. Everyone survived, but this was only the beginning of the story. A second incident. Fast forward to December 20, 2023. Another Boeing 737 MAX 8, Southwest Airlines Flight 554, was departing from New Orleans International Airport to Tampa, Florida. On board were 133 passengers and 6 crew. The aircraft, engines, and crew all seemed standard, but shortly after takeoff, tragedy nearly struck again. At about 800 feet, a bald eagle collided with the left engine, causing severe vibrations. The aircraft's load relief device, LRD, a system designed to reduce mechanical loads in the engine fan by slightly braking components under extreme stress, activated automatically. Here's the problem: this system also dumped nearly 14 quarts, 13 liters, of engine oil directly into the engine airflow, which was then sucked into the aircraft's air conditioning system and ultimately into the cockpit. The resulting smoke was thick, acrid, and highly toxic. Toxicology later confirmed high levels of formaldehyde and acrolein, chemicals that could reach lethal levels in just 39 seconds. While the pilots managed to don their oxygen masks and control the aircraft, the situation was far from safe. Visibility in the cockpit was drastically reduced, communication was hampered, and the risk to both pilots and passengers was extreme. Understanding the LRD system. So why did this happen? The load relief device, LRD, was installed to save weight and reduce stress on engine components. A bigger fan in modern engines, like the CFM LEAD 1B, increases efficiency by moving a larger volume of air at a slower speed. But larger fan blades can cause massive vibrations if one fails. The result? A toxic, smoke-filled cockpit within seconds. Traditional cockpit oxygen masks don't fully protect against this because they mix supplemental oxygen with contaminated cabin air. Passengers in the earlier Cuba flight had tried to use masks, but the smoke still entered their breathing zones. The flight dynamics nightmare. Let's put this into perspective. Imagine you're piloting a Boeing 737 MAX, accelerating down the runway. Everything seems normal. You hit V1, the decision speed, commit to takeoff. But suddenly, a bird strike damages your engine. The LRD activates, oil floods the engine, and smoke begins filling your cockpit. You have seconds to react. The standard cockpit oxygen masks are tricky. They require removing the headset, placing the mask over your face, securing it, and then adjusting communication settings. Doing all this while flying at low altitude with an engine failure is a challenge even for the most experienced pilots. In a fictional scenario used for training, pilots in Salzburg, Austria, face just this. An engine fails after ingesting migratory Canada geese. Smoke fills the cockpit in less than 40 seconds. One pilot begins to slump from inhaling toxic fumes. The other struggles to see instruments, all while navigating a complex mountain terrain. One mistake could result in catastrophe. Regulatory response. After these incidents, the Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, and the European Union Aviation Safety Agency, EASA, were alerted. Internal investigations by the FAA identified 6 urgent recommendations. Modify takeoff procedures. Perform takeoffs with PCK-1 off to avoid smoke contamination if LRD activates. Implement automated detection, PRSOV. Pressure regulating shutoff valve should automatically close in case of severe engine events. Update pilot manuals. All new systems must be fully explained, including LRD activation effects. Clarify bulletins. Boeing's initial explanation downplayed oil release. It must reflect expected LRD behavior. Upgrade cockpit oxygen masks. Replace 2-piece goggles with single mask design for faster protection. Reassess activation frequency. Previously thought to occur once per year, 2 incidents in 9 months indicate higher risk. Shockingly, the FAA's Corrective Action Review Board, TRB, decided no immediate action or emergency airworthiness directive was necessary. The FAA cited ongoing assessments and standard rulemaking, leaving pilots to deal with a system capable of delivering lethal smoke in under 40 seconds. Technical explanation. To fully understand the danger, we need to delve deeper into engine and air conditioning systems. TC and LEAP 1B engines. Large fan diameter, fewer but wider blades, increases efficiency, but increases risk if a blade fails. Load relief device, LRD, activates automatically under severe imbalance to reduce mechanical load. Toxic smoke concentration reached near lethal levels in less than 40 seconds, faster than most emergency procedures can be fully executed. The horror of inaction. Despite the clear risk, regulators have stalled. The FAA and EASA agreed to delay immediate corrective actions. Boeing issued a bulletin clarifying LRD behavior, but made no procedural changes. Internal FAA memos recommending rapid safety fixes were leaked only through media outlets. Imagine being a pilot on the next flight, fully trained for engine failures, but unaware that LRD activation could flood the cockpit with toxic smoke in 39 seconds. This isn't a theoretical exercise, it's a proven hazard. If this video shocked you, don't stay silent. Share this video, subscribe and hit the bell for updates on aviation safety. Every view, share, and comment helps put pressure on regulators and manufacturers to act before the next disaster occurs. Remember, in aviation, sometimes 39 seconds is all the warning you get.